He's not a bat, he's a man who fights crime. And we're gonna watch him fight for a minute at a time. With John and Niall, and I guess you just rhyme with Bat Minutes!
Yabba dabba doo! You're listening to Bat Minutes, the podcast that breaks down each minute of Joel Schumacher's Batman and Robin 1 minute at a time. I am one of the hosts, Niall McGowan.
I am your other host, John Parker. It is ice to be here.
And returning for one last spin on the slippery, slippery slope that is Batman and Robin, it's returning guest Gaz Flint.
Ice to make your acquaintance. Hello, it's nice to be here.
Hey!
I love it.
And this is one of those ones now coming to this minute. It's like there is so much going on.
Oh, God.
There's
a lot of nonsense to break down here.
Yeah, because
that's the whole movie.
Yeah,
and I say that as a fan.
But this is minute 6. The minute opens with Batman, Clooney Batman. He's the worst Batman in history. From the town of Gotham, he's about to kick Mr. Freeze. And ends 1 minute later with the order to kill the heroes, which even by itself is like, okay, so this is making some choices, this movie.
Yeah, in context, that's possibly even worse. That is the worst. I think that is the worst part of the movie. We had my favorite line last time. That is my least favorite line of the film.
Because we do get this continuation now of, in this universe, there is only one absolute. Everything freezes. To be fair, the delivery of the lines, too, is like he has given his all. This is back to, like, I don't think there's ever been you can say, Tommy Lee Jones and whatnot didn't work as Two-Face, but it's like he was putting an effort, but it was in the wrong direction and stuff. But this is kind of like Jack Nicholson level of, like, that guy earned every penny of his paycheck. He was so into playing the Joker. And yeah, every word Arnie has to deliver, he is going to chew the scenery, and he is going to make you believe that he should be paid $25 million for this thing.
Yeah, Arnie's not bad. He's doing exactly what they want him to do, and he's doing it well. Whether you like that or not is a different thing.
This is the thing. Arnie is doing Arnie. The same as Jim Carrey was doing Jim Carrey in the last movie.
Yes.
They're paid to play themselves, not necessarily play the characters that they're supposed to be playing.
That's true. Some actors do reach a certain level where you're hiring them for them. You're not hiring them to act.
I think we talked about this one in the last movie. That used to be quite a trope, which I don't think it is in movies anymore. Maybe with The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, rather. Yeah. He's one of the few people that say, "Oh yeah, you play you hire The Rock
be The Rock."
Whereas you used to hire Arnie to be Arnie. You used to hire Jim Carrey to be wacky.
And even way back in the day, you'd have her like, "Oh, James Cagney, you're going to get a James Cagney movie." Like you're hiring that guy to play that part, kind of thing. But within the minute here, weirdly though, I was reminded of something from another Batman movie, because they have this, everything freezes. Oh, yeah. And of course, reminded me of The Dark Knight with the Joker burning that pile of money, and his line of dialogue of like, it's not about money, it's about sending a message. Everything burns.
Yeah, but that makes sense, right? Everything freezes, right? Can we break this down? That's stupid. That doesn't make sense. Not everything freezes. That's the one constant in the universe. Is it?
No, it's global warming's happening right now. It's the opposite.
yeah, exactly. I feel like they were just so desperate. Like we needed one more pun. One more. And they couldn't think of anything. Like, that's fine.
It could be Victor Freeze's controversial everything freezes theory that he's been working on. And everyone's like, this guy, he's like a flat earther, this dude. He just keeps barking on about, you can freeze anything.
It's his YouTube series, Everything Freezes.
So could I freeze fire? Yes, you can freeze fire. It's like, you can't freeze fire. It's physically impossible.
Everything freezes. I cannot wrap my head around, because not only is it not like funny, but it doesn't make sense. If it was funny and didn't make sense, that'd be fine.
Just a handy metaphor for this whole film right there.
Tell you what else could he say though? Like, I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe don't say anything.
The Ice Age is coming.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, he's already said the Iceman cometh, though.
All right.
Well, I mean, it's not above Mr. Freeze to repeat himself. I don't think he's
True.
like every single pun's a fresh one. It's always like, well, this is a cool find. There's something like that.
Yeah, anything.
I'll slide this into my pocket.
Well, they bring that up a few times in the movie, don't they? Keep calling diamonds ice.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's like, I haven't heard that phrase, but since I'm not rich, I don't regularly encounter diamonds in my day-to-day life.
It's an old, actually, to go back to James Cagney, it's like an old gangstery kind of turn. It's a thing that happens a lot in the 60s show and in the old comics. Actually, the first issue, the feature, Mr. Freeze, is about him stealing diamonds, and they are referred to as ice.
See, I knew he sold the diamonds, but okay, they're
okay.
called ice. It's just like a slang thing.
And there's a whole thing in one of that first Mr. Freeze episode of the 60s show as well. He also steals diamonds and refers to them as ice. And then the second one, I think they just keep referring to money as green ice. And it's like, a diamond I get, but like paper dollars don't look like ice. Like, I think you're just making this up now to make it work in the show.
Nice, that's so weird. I do still, even knowing that American money is green, whenever they call money green in something, I'm like, what? It really throws me off because our money is just bizarre, multicolored. But then again, the new American money is green, but then it has those like, it's got the number written on it in like a stupid cartoon style. Have you seen it?
That's right. Yeah.
It looks like clip art.
I think maybe we're missing out over here, though. Maybe we should make all currency a uniform color, and then we can have fun slang terms, like instead of pounds and stuff like that. Squid is about the best you get because it's quid. But we're missing out in this whole color coordinated verbal tomfoolery. But now, speaking of missed opportunities for verbal tomfoolery, we of course get Batman landing in on top of the Brachiosaurus here, and his intro line that he's been thinking of the whole way from the goddamn Batcave.
Jesus.
And hello, Freeze, I'm Batman.
That annoyed me. It really, really did. Because it's so like, don't say anything or say a joke.
Yeah. Good. You mind if I slide in? Something ice based, I guess, or.
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't mean to break the ice.
There you go. I think later on, Mr. Freeze doesn't allow me to break the ice, but Batman could have beat him to the punch and had it here.
Yeah, and he could have got annoyed. He could have got angry.
That's my line. Stop stealing my thing.
They're clearly just trying to make a through line to 89, though. Like, I'm Batman. but it has no gravitas to it. Just like, hey, Freeze.
It is. It's very much like I do this every night. So he's like, hey, I'm Batman. In case you didn't know, it's me. Because how many goddamn roofs does he come through as well? It's just like, this is standard practice. It kind of it's weird, that shot of him coming in, because it kind of looks like he's been standing on it, waiting for the glass to break. Like, he didn't jump through. It kind of seems like he was just standing there like, all right, maybe give it like okay, just punch it a couple more okay. All right, finally, there we go. It's done. It's done.
That's what we need to see, is we need a show that's all about the build-up to Batman's great deeds. I'm into that.
Why it also doesn't make sense, though, for him to stop and say this. So, number one, he somehow lands, I guess he is Batman, but he lands perfectly on this Brachiosaurus's head, which couldn't have been easy to do.
That sentence alone was gold, Gaz.
But he stops to say, hi, Freeze, I'm Batman. And then slides down the back of the Brachiosaurus fucking Fred Flintstone, which I'm sure we'll discuss.
Yeah.
But if he'd have just smashed straight through and used the momentum of him falling to slide down the Brachiosaurus, that would have made more sense than him stopping to quip and then somehow perfectly sliding down this Brachiosaurus. I don't know why we're trying to make sense of any of this.
You're totally right. I hadn't thought about that. It should have been one motion.
Yeah, exactly.
The other thing we know about the cinematic Batman, though, from, I'm Batman. Like, tell all your friends about me and all this. He does like a good PR campaign. He likes to make sure that everybody knows who he is. So I guess he'd be like, I could come in and catch this guy instantly with, an out of nowhere kick to the chest. But he might be like, I don't know who it was.
Okay, right. I have the best middle ground then, right? He does what Gaz said. He falls, lands on the Brachiosaurus, skates down, jumps off, lands in front of Freeze, and goes, "Hi, Freeze. I'm Batman."
I think he needs to get him in the chest though, because then otherwise it's just
Yeah,
but then he can just wallop him. Bam! Because Freeze doesn't see.
It should use right. It should fly off the Brachiosaurus tail, use the momentum to kick him, and then after he lands, after they kick him, and Mr. Freeze is lying there like, "What the hell was that?" It can be like, "Hi, Freeze. I'm Batman."
There you go. There you go.
Or as he's sliding down, he could be like, "Hey, Freeze, I'm Batman!" Woo!
Yeah, I'm radical. Like, it did remind me of the Flintstones, you're right. But also, all I could think of,
I
because
think
it's
it's
a
reminded
dinosaur.
every one of the Flintstones.
I think
Yeah.
it's very definitely a specific nod to the Flintstones, because like again, that 30-year cycle. This is in the midst of, in the 90s, everything from the 60s was getting remade and stuff. So you had like the Brady Bunch movie and Sergeant Bilko and stuff like that. They had a Flintstones movie out like, what, 3 years before this? So I think it's very much in the cultural ether of the people making these movies. It's like, oh yeah, remember that? Remember Fred Flintstone going down the Brachiosaurus and stuff? Like,
Yeah, but that movie sucked. So why would you remind people of it?
that's a guilty pleasure movie for me. I think very specific memories of watching it one Sunday, very hungover, when there was just a bunch of people lying around, and we had a great time.
Well, it's got a great cast. I think that's what saves it. Like, everyone in that movie is gold.
Although, weirdly enough, they did the sequel. They had the Flintstones in Viva Las Vegas, which has we call him like the little green dude, who's a bit like Batmite, who keeps popping up.
What's his name?
From the Jetsons.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, how's it going, Dumbo?
I was never into the Jetsons, though, so I can't really remember his name.
But it's weird, because like in that sequel, they got Mark Addy from, the Full Monty and Game of Thrones and stuff playing Fred Flintstone, and you're like, I think he's like a better Fred Flintstone than John Goodman. It's like, John Goodman's like, he's pretty good in that part, but
isn't her from Third Rock from the Sun in it?
Yeah, she's Wilma. Also from Austin Powers, of course.
Yeah.
Kirsten Johnson, and then Jane Krakowski from 30 Rock and all.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, she's Betty.
Oh, so I saw her before 30 Rock. Oh my God.
Well, I have fond memories of her as Jane and Ally McBeal. I used to love Ally McBeal when I was a kid, even though as a 10-year-old, you wouldn't think that would be the type of thing.
No,
I'd be
I used to watch it as well because it felt like, I'm being an adult.
Yeah.
You felt like a bit naughty, like, I'm watching Ally McBeal.
I have a feeling if you watch it now, it probably will be like, yeah, this isn't for it. I don't think grown adults would enjoy this because it's so silly and stuff. But yeah, I always remember like, oh yeah, look at her. I think she was her secretary, Jane. Yeah, I always liked that character. So when she became a thing, then later on, I was like, oh, thank God, she's got a career beyond Ally McBeal.
Oh, because she's like the best thing in 30 Rock. She's amazing. She's just gold. But the only other thing I thought of, because obviously the Flintstones, but then I also was like, because it's a dinosaur and he's kind of skateboarding, it made me think of, well, the dinosaur's not skateboarding, but I thought of the cartoon I used to love as a child, Denver the Last Dinosaur.
I was about to jump in. It's like, you're not going to say Denver the Last Dinosaur, right?
I was the world's biggest fan, I think, of Denver the Last Dinosaur. I had about 20 VHS tapes of this thing. I wanted to be a skateboarding dinosaur with shades and a guitar.
To be fair, that a skateboarding dinosaur with shades and a guitar would not be out of place in this movie.
Put it in.
He's just the new sidekick.
Why not?
That was like actually our friend Coralie from France. She used to love Denver the Last Dinosaur.
Yeah.
She grew up in France, so I remember her showing me the intro to it one time.
Oh, because in English it's great, Denver the Last Dinosaur.
Yeah, but it was just like, I was like, Denver, it's le dinosaur.
Hell yeah.
I just remember the last line of his encore. It's so French.
But yeah, this is just, I was just saying, this is just these opening minutes. So within 2 minutes, you've got Arnie. I think in total, he makes 3 or 4 ice puns.
Yeah.
And then Batman slides down the back of a Brachiosaurus like Fred Flintstone.
Yeah,
This is just so much nonsense happening in such a short period of time.
Well, can I ask as well, in universe, how is Batman achieving this? Because it's making grinding sounds. Come on, Tony Hawk.
Is again.
Like, has he got skates on?
Well, he's got ice skates on the back of his.
But he's not popped them out, and that would.
Shoes.
I don't understand how he's supposed to be achieving this motion.
It's like, yeah, because they specify too in the behind the scenes book but they had to build a track specifically within the back of a Brachiosaurus.
As you do.
That's every time I see the Brachiosaurus now, too. I keep thinking of, because, people, long-term listeners to the show will know I'm living in a house with a 3-year-old now. Had a birthday since the last season. He's turned 3. But he's obviously going through a big dinosaur phase. And one of his things on YouTube they keep putting on is this. It's a song about Brachiosauruses. And but it's like a doom metal song. It's like a real like tough, guitar, like like it really, really rocks. That's big raging guitar solos on it too. But it just has this, Brachiosaurus, he has a long neck. Brachiosaurus might be the biggest dinosaur.
Oh my God, Mal, you need to, next time karaoke's on, when the world is back to normal, you are doing Iron Maiden. White man came across the sea.
So it's like really like it's like this he enjoys it, but I'm like this is a friggin' banger of a tune, man.
He obviously it's a stuntman dressed in the Batman suit. He's using a wakeboard as well as safety wires, and they erase them in post-production. So I think the effect is good. Like it looks good. It doesn't look phony or anything. Someone is doing this. And I appreciate that.
Yeah, but it's just the concept of it.
The concept is absurd and stupid and makes no sense. At the very least, do a little close-up of something popping out of Batman's feet, like we see with the skates in a few minutes. Because I don't understand how he's doing it, but he's doing it.
A scene of him playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater, so he kind of like, oh yeah, he's got that in his head now, yeah.
Brachiosaurus, as I was going to make some facts about
Brachiosaurus.
Brachiosaurus. Go right ahead.
They were named that after they were discovered by Elmer S. Riggs in 1903 when they were first discovered. And Brachiosaurus in Greek means arm lizard, which I was a bit shocked by because they've not got big arms, they've got big necks. Yeah, arm lizard.
Is it because the neck resembles an arm, maybe?
I don't know.
Like a big lot. You have to try and put yourself into the mind of people in that era as well. They haven't
they might
seen
have thought they found
like
an arm.
Yeah. Like they genuinely thought at first, like these are like demons or dragons.
And I can also tell you from listening to that song multiple times, its front legs are taller, so it can reach the tops of the trees.
That
so
is
maybe
true.
they thought like, oh, those are like its arms, and then the other legs are like its legs.
Oh, true. Yeah, maybe.
Mm-hmm. So guess that song's paying off already.
They were first discovered in Colorado, and they're believed to have been around in the late Jurassic period. And they're estimated to be 18 to 21 meters long.
Oof. Jesus Christ.
So that's our Brachiosaurus facts for today. So, right, he breaks through the skyline, and he lands on the head and goes, "Hi, Freeze, I'm Batman." And then do we hear Freeze cock the gun?
Yeah, I think he flips it up, doesn't he? To start
and
going
what is the noise of that gun? It's like the noise of a shotgun or something.
Yeah, but he's not cocking anything. That is weird. There's nothing to like go.
That'd be cool if Arnie managed to do that Terminator 2 one-handed shotgun thing. That'd have been nifty, actually. I'm like, oh, by all means. So I remember like trying to slow down a VHS tape, which ain't easy, let me tell you, to see how he did that. It was so
I think
amazing.
he literally just practiced and practiced and practiced. Because as he does in this movie, Arnie was known for putting a lot of work in on Terminator. Like in the first movie, he spent hours and hours, countless hours, practicing how to disassemble, reassemble, and reload a gun without looking at it. Because he thought, well, a Terminator wouldn't need to look at the gun to reload. And it's a machine. It knows where the parts are. So I don't ever want to have to look at the gun. So he practiced and practiced. So I think he did the same thing with the shotgun. It's just like, I'm just going to do it 1,000,000 times until it's natural.
Yeah, but it's such a nifty maneuver. It's like, yeah, I wouldn't surprise. Maybe they was like, I wonder if I could do that here, but like, it's not that kind of gun. It's about 20 times bigger.
It's not that kind of party. I want to see Arnold Schwarzenegger play Hannibal, but before we go down that road, we
should also say as well though, before we move off the Brachiosaurus and the Flintstones, because little everything's connected, as you do, because of course Fred Flintstone, the character that Batman is emulating here, was played by the late great Alan Reed, who of course appeared in an episode of the Batman 60 show called "The Penguin Sets a Trend," and it was all about the Penguin. Batman kept thinking he was committing crimes, but it turned out he was trying to make a movie. And so and he ends up casting Batman and Robin in his movie and stuff. And it's like, this is all leading up to the Penguins actually trying to steal stuff. But of course it is. That's the big twist. But Alan Reed's in that as General Magruder. Interestingly, his underling, Major Beasley, is played by Bob Hastings, who people might know as the voice of Commissioner Gordon from the Batman animated series. So there you go. And that episode also features Carolyn Jones as Marcia, Queen of Diamonds, appropriately enough, for this scene. And Carolyn Jones is most famous for being the original Morticia Addams, which is a franchise that Tim Burton has now got his claws into and is probably going to balls up in the next couple of years. So, but yeah,
surely has there not been a cartoon of like Batman meeting the Flintstones, like some Hanna-Barbera one?
I actually looked in to see if I could find that, and like weirdly enough, no. But it did seem like the kind of thing, because like Batman's met Scooby-Doo, like all this kind of stuff. So I was like, he's found out about the Flintstones, but there you can get like art of Fred and Barney dressed up as Batman and Robin, which I think is just fan art. But yeah, tragically not. Like maybe it's someone at Warner Brothers will listen to this episode and be like, hey, now there's an idea.
Because we have a lot of sway over at the Warner Brothers HQ. But Freeze throws the absolute living crap out of him. He goes flying, and it just made me think of Arnie in Commando. You know, when in Commando, the security guys at the mall like jump on him. There's like 8 guys, and he's so strong he throws all of them off in one go. He goes, it's like the Hulk. I just wish it had been like that, because they go miles, and then he picks up Sully in the phone booth, doesn't he?
No, he doesn't pick up Sully in the phone booth. He picks up the phone booth.
Yeah, with Sully.
Rips it out of the floor.
Which is gold. I love it.
That movie is one of the pinnacles of so bad it's good.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite films. That's why I got the remastered Blu-ray. It looks like it was made yesterday.
Batman grabs the gun. Mr. Freeze then grabs a gun, lifts it, and throws Batman away. He lands perfectly.
He more than throws Batman. He hurls him.
But that's the thing, you do get that vibe of like, oh, it must be the suit is aiding his power. But in Commando, it's like, no, that's all Arnie. Like, that's pure muscle.
Pure Arnold.
He is just, like, in Commando, he is ridiculous. Like, he just looks like he's been carved out of rock.
And in films, though, as I think we might have talked about this before when we brought up Terminator in the past. In films, Arnold is trimmed down because his bodybuilding weight doesn't look as good on screen. So that's him slimmer.
I was reading an interview with Dave Bautista where he said when he first started making movies, he lost weight, so he didn't look like ridiculously big like he was when he was a wrestler.
Apparently,
and then when he got cast in Guardians of the Galaxy, the first thing they asked him was, "Can you put on more muscle?"
Oh, fine.
And he was like, "Well, yeah."
Well, I think at first he was like, "Well, I'm not going to be the muscle guy. I'm not going to be the Rock. I'm going to go a different route." And then he got Guardians of the Galaxy, obviously, where it's like, "Well, you need to be the muscle guy." But so then he's kind of found a middle ground of like, right, I'm going to be the big guy, but subvert expectations. Like, look at Blade Runner. He's a big, muscly war machine, but all he wants to do is be a farmer. He's not about fight. Yeah. He doesn't want to fight. He wants to disassociate himself from it. So I quite like that. It's like a nice little contrast.
The guy not keeping an eye on a boiling pot. Really bugged me. Like, keep it. It's gonna burn. It's gonna burn, dude. What are you doing?
He's got other things to worry about in that moment. Someone's here to kill him, and he knows.
Just go over and turn it off. Just turn it off. I've burnt too many peas in my time to let that go.
What do you guys reckon then to Bautista playing Mr. Freeze?
Yeah, that could work.
It could work. He could do it, couldn't he?
He's a good actor.
What route do you take with a new Freeze? Like, do you get a muscle guy like Arnie, or like, do you get someone much smaller who looks big in a suit? Like, what route do you go?
Because this version of Freeze is, that's very specific to. It needs to be like a big guy. Usually, Mr. Freeze is just like a dude, and he has a pretty intimidating suit. But like, my modern Mr. Freeze to me would be, and I'm sure he would be excellent, but it might be just too in the same vein of things he's doing all the time. Like Giancarlo Esposito.
Oh.
Like, Gus from Breaking Bad.
Oh, I could see that. Yeah, no, totally.
That's Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
But like because he's doing that part in The Boys. He's essentially playing he's playing that guy again. Like,
well, and he's in The Mandalorian.
Yeah, and he's also playing that kind of stoic, sinister guy. And it's like, yeah, if you could do Mr. Freeze stand on his head, but it might be like, yeah, but you ain't pushing the boat out there. Like it's almost a bit too obvious to get in there.
I like it though, and I like that it would be a person of color. Even though you're going to see him blue, obviously. But you'd see that through the makeup.
I've just got it written down here. This is the start of some dodgy wire work.
Yes. Robin.
There's a lot of dodgy wire work in this film.
Well, actually,
it starts off right here.
Before Robin enters, though, I had one other thing. Actually, I've just realised I completely forgot to even write it down. We get another pun.
Yeah, I've made a note of the exact second. It's 6 minutes and 31, precisely 30 seconds after the last one.
I kind of want to bring you in as like a regular, like at the end of each episode, we just have cut the gas with pun count. Let's just use it. Yes,
you want? I'd be up for it.
Oh, yeah,
53 minutes and 40 seconds. Yeah, we got another one.
I kind of like this pun though, right? Because it's stupid, but there's a reason I like it. So Freeze is about to get caught by Batman, so he goes, "You are not sending me to the cooler."
It's a total trailer line. I distinctly remember it being in the trailer.
The reason I like it, though, is I love the way that the character knows this is a joke. He knows that it's a dumb, silly line. Look at his grin when he says it. He's like, yes, this is stupid. Yeah.
If you go to Batman reacted that way, too. He's like, you're not sending me to the cooler. He's like,
good one.
High fives him on the way past.
So to be precise as well, this is pun number 4.
Number 4. Pun number 4. But after that, we get the bit you mentioned.
6.5 minutes in, 4 puns.
After that bit, we get the bit you mentioned, Gaz, where Robin enters to save the day.
Oh my God!
But that bike looks so odd in the air. Like what is? It's clearly on wires. There's something happening here. It's not slow motion even. There's some weird effect. Is it because it's the actual actor on the bike and they're worried?
I think it's, again, just it just wasn't done that well.
They took the quick option.
So again, like, the amount of time and effort spent on like creating this museum and then to cover it in not good-looking ice, in very fake-looking plastic ice. So it's like a lot of time and effort put into stuff that just didn't pay out that well.
The ice here looks better than later on in the movie, where it is just clear plastic. In some way, you could say, okay, yeah, they're going for it looking like ice. But there was one moment, and I had to pause it last night, and I actually sent you guys a video saying, like, this is plastic. This is just clear plastic. No, so Robin smashes in. I've got so much to talk about here. Right. So Robin smashes in and completely ruins the door. That looked like a very big, expensive-looking door.
Yeah.
That might have even had some artwork on it, which would have been expensive.
But it doesn't matter.
And he just smashes in and completely wrecks it. And you've probably noticed this. So as he's flying through the air very unrealistically, it cuts away, and then 2 seconds later, it cuts back. And that hole's now the bat symbol.
Yeah. It's the bat symbol.
It's not the bat symbol. It's the Robin symbol.
No, it's the bat symbol.
I thought it was the bat symbol.
It's not the Robin symbol. It's the bat symbol.
Oh, no, it's the Robin symbol.
Is it?
Go and have a look.
I was with Gaz.
You look at the top. It's like it goes into the beak.
Oh, okay. I can kind of see both.
Yeah.
Either way, it's stupid.
I spent like many years of my life pondering, couldn't they have just put like he had a battering ram at the front? That would justify the shape at least, But it's like, it is so stupid. It's like, at least maybe have something sticking out the side of the bike. But it is like, no logical reason why it would, like, at least make it look like a little more tattered or something. It happens to look a little bit like the symbol. Yeah. But this is just pristine.
No, it looks perfectly carved out.
I think it's meant to be funny. Like, oh, look, there's a little Easter egg. That's the logo. It's like, what?
And again, though, in talking about things that have been spoofed previously, before they did this, Gremlins 2, the new batch, has the Bat Gremlin, flies through the wall, leaves the bat symbol.
Yeah.
So that was a farcical joke in that movie. So by the time then you're coming here and you're like, I guess, they would be like, well, it's supposed to be silly too, but it is like the tropes have been done so much now that you're not even too sure how to register them anymore. It's like,
yeah, I suppose it's a strange.
I think they
choice.
they wanted the visual of the Robin symbol or the bat symbol in the back. as Robin's flying toward the viewer.
Was it worth
But
it?
it's just no, it wasn't. It really wasn't. It just doesn't work.
I think it is. It's a cool screenshot if you just don't think about it. Like, if you just take it as been like, yeah, that's a nice image.
Yeah,
But-
it probably looked good in a magazine. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Oh, the making of book. Oh, yeah. That looked fantastic there.
And the bike hits a priceless vase from the collection, and it makes the most stupid cartoon noise as it flies
I've
into
got
the
this-
air.
Yeah.
Now that
But
could have been
also-
fun. It could have been a good, like, interesting, funny scene, like, oh, the vase. But just that one simple act of adding that noise is too much.
Well, there's a lot of cartoon sound effects throughout all of this film.
Yeah, and I'm
which just make
never
you
a
go,
fan of
"What?
cartoon
Why?"
sound effects.
No.
You know, that's all left over from friggin' Jim Carrey. That's with him, grabbing his groin and going donk and
Yeah, but
all
if
that crap.
the
He was doing-
character
But you're
doing
given the
it works.
impression. You're given the impression in Batman Forever that it's like, I don't know, it's just like noises they edited over the top. But here you get the impression that that's actually the noise the vase made.
Yeah.
If you get what I mean.
No, exactly. And that's why it annoys
Yeah.
me so much. That's my
But
other
also,
least.
right.
This is my least favorite minute in the film.
But really, the whole film.
What? How? There's so much bullshit happening
No,
here.
you've got
How
the
can it be your
Robin
least
thing.
favorite?
You've got the Robin thing, the vase, and upcoming, you've got my least favorite line in the movie.
See, I thought this would be all the stuff that you'd be all in on, because this is like, this is the stupid crazy crap.
Yeah, but the previous 2 minutes I love. It's just this one.
I don't know about that. I'm all for this minute. It's like I've made my peace with, like, yeah, that Robin symbol in the door doesn't make any sense. I was like, even and we're getting here, like the way that freeze gun goes up on top of that goddamn, like, the face of Bo or whatever it is there.
It's
is
like
just
it gets magnetized to it.
Yeah, it's probably, you can literally see like the puppeteer going like,
It's so
Yeah.
stupid. I know, like, oh, we need to get the gun away from Freeze. Come up with anything else, please. Anything.
yeah. It's just even just not that shot. Just have it just look up and the gun's there, and you're like, all right, I guess it landed there. But it's just, seeing it go up, it's just
it
like,
could go flying up and just land on top, not go near it and then just suddenly stick to it.
It's so
But
dumb.
also, what I was thinking, right? So Robin, at the end of the last movie, it was his debut as Robin, and immediately he messes up and gets caught.
yeah.
The first thing we see him do here is smash through a door in completely unnecessary fashion, land, skid the bike, and again completely mess up.
Yeah.
And right, okay, so they're going after Mr. Freeze. The way they talk about him, well, are they supposed to have met Mr. Freeze before, or is this the first time they've met him?
I think it's the
This
first
is it.
time.
Yeah, this is like the
Okay.
debut freezing.
So they've already been told, though, oh, he's frozen everything in the museum, even though we've established why would he do that before getting the diamond. So Robin comes down and lands on the bike. Would they have not thought, hold on a minute, Mr. Freeze, maybe he's frozen the floor?
Well, that's why they prepped and brought the special boots we're going to see.
Yeah, but maybe don't go flying through on a bike that's just going to skid everywhere.
But everything about Robin, it's still rambunctious. He is, yeah, you're exactly right, Gaz. He's not learned from the finale of Forever when, like, he went and took on Two-Face
I
and
think
then
he's
got
got
himself captured.
worse.
Yeah, it is kind of like, yeah, he barrels in. Yeah, I don't know what. If this was some tactic between him and Batman. Like, I go in through the roof, you go into. Maybe he was like sneak in quietly through the door and then try to get the drop on him. And Robin's like, oh yeah, door, no problem. And then he just drives through the damn.
Hey, and that would work, actually, right? That would be a great way of reinterpreting Robin. He's the stealthy one, right? I know Batman often is, but maybe this type of Batman, no, Batman is the fighter. Robin sneaks in because he's got the background of gymnastics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that the
Yeah,
Arkham
makes total
games,
sense.
that would be a level. It's like, get into the museum and take out Mr. Freeze without him seeing you.
Yeah.
And this is just like, you know what you really should do is
Make the biggest, grandest entrance you can.
It's like, I guess you can't, Batman's he's an old man now. He's set in his ways. He's like, I come through the skylight. That's what I do. I think unless this is Robin's like, I want a thing. So busting through doors and leaving symbols in them, that's my thing. Like,
So yeah, he slides across, kicks the gun up, it sticks, then he knocks the vase over and go on with the line.
My least favorite line in the movie. I love the delivery, But the when you think about the line, it's the worst thing ever. Because he shouts to his goons, Mr. Freeze here, grab the gem, kill the heroes. Would he call them heroes?
Well, that's the thing, yeah. Because this is him then admitting that him identifying himself as a villain.
Yeah.
By default in that instance.
To be honest, although Star Wars is my favorite thing in the world, that always annoys me in Star Wars when they're like, you'll come to the dark side of the Force. So you're identifying as evil. You know you're evil. Okay.
Wait a minute, does he say that before he knocks the vase over and Batman catches it and he's like, nice catch? And he's like, you buy it, you break it.
Yeah.
Although I looked that
Because
up
I've got problems with that too.
I like to think though that's because Redbird just got wrecked, and that's Bruce saying to Dick, "You break it, you buy it." It's like you're paying for that damn bike. Like I ain't buying you another one.
So Bruce Wayne the billionaire Bruce Wayne would make this orphan he's taken in pay for this priceless vase.
It's about learning responsibility.
Exactly. It's like, yeah, you break it, you buy it.
Don't be reckless, or there's consequences.
But then again, this could be a pun from Batman, which now Batman's punning.
Yeah, and not well.
Apparently that is, though, and it's a known thing majorly in America, where that's called the Pottery Barn rule. And apparently it's supposed to have originated in like some furniture shop back in like 1952.
Oh yeah, but it's the same here. If you break something, that you'll have to pay for it.
Yeah, there's a whole Wikipedia entry about it where it's just like, the sign has to be a certain size so it can be legally standing. That even if the person doesn't see it, if they break something, they have to buy it because they were forewarned by the size of the sign and stuff. Although weirdly, it says at the bottom, because everyone calls it the Pottery Barn rule. Apparently, Pottery Barn doesn't inflict that rule. It's everything broken on their property is considered a tax write-off. So theoretically, you go into Pottery Barn and just destroy everything, as Mr. Freeze is about to say in the next minute. So,
Niall, we'll go to America for the Movies 5 Minutes thing, and as part of it, we'll live stream us smashing up a Pottery Barn in Batman outfits.
Their accountants will thank us at the end of the tax year.
Okay, so that's even stupider than I thought, because I thought it was just a pun on that thing, you break it, you buy it, but no, it's a pun on, a vase is like a pot. So
I didn't even connect those two things.
They've made a joke about pottery. Batman has made a joke about Pottery Barn. This is where we are. This is where we've got to with this film. And we're 6 minutes in.
Although, to be fair, the beginning of Batman 89, it did have those two crooks with Lou and Eddie doing hey, don't leave home without it, when he holds up their credit card. So
true.
It could be like Joel Schumacher's like, I'm just picking up where Tim left off. With that.
Yeah, but these are two crooks making jokes about how like evil they are, or they've stolen someone's credit card.
Better.
Yeah, that works far better. Whereas this is Batman. This is bloody Batman making jokes about Pottery Barn.
Oh, well,
that'd be great too. They had to cut out from that 89. Just like as soon as Batman showed up, the two crooks were just like, "Kill the hero!" and started shooting at him.
Grab the gem, kill the heroes. I can't abide this line. Like, there's no.
It did kind of make me yearn for a Mr. Freeze rendition of Billie Eilish's "Bad Guy."
Yeah, yes.
I'm the bad guy.
Oh my God. The people who do the musicals online, Lego Lambs are they called?
Oh yeah.
They've done a Batman and Robin musical, but I want them to do that.
Yeah, it'll be like, I see my blood is running cold.
That'd be amazing. But I mean, our heroes, so to speak, are about to be attacked though by a wild gang of ice hockey players. Which I don't want to go too much into.
Literal interpretation of what Freeze's minions could be. Oh, ice hockey players.
Yeah. Just again to talk about the turtles. A lot of Casey Jones I'm getting from these guys as well, specifically with those masks. But then one of them's got kind of long flowing hair. It's like, yeah, I don't know, maybe times are tough in New York, and he moved to Gotham and took up the position as a goon for hire.
And it's one of the stupidest bits of the movie. Like, I hate it and I love it. It's so dumb. Why would he have ice hockey players? But it's also one of my favorite action scenes because it's so ridiculous.
Being a goon in Gotham is getting the skill set's getting bigger. Like, it's the amount of things you need to know. Now you need to know how to ice skate to get into the freeze game.
You've got to be a clown.
See, back in Grissom's gang, you just had to be a guy. A guy in a suit. You shoot a gun. That's all you had to do.
You have to go to lessons like, okay, I'm going to learn how to ride a unicycle and fire a light machine gun while doing tricks. Okay.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
Well, there is that one, as we talked about the first time I was on the show, which made me laugh, and I think I've got to bring it back now. You mentioned Napier hood with cutting tool.
Yeah.
That's right.
The one guy who's got his whole Wikipedia page. So some of them, that's one skill you need. You need to know how to use a cutting tool.
Yeah. Like an ice hockey skate is a good cutting tool, because I watched a documentary once. It was one of those things, I say documentary, it was like worst injuries. The documentary used
Like
loosely.
something Homer Simpson had watched.
Yeah. And there was a guy who was in an ice hockey match, and like I think he tackled someone and they fell over, but their skate hit him in the neck. And it sliced his neck open.
Oh.
Yeah, he was bleeding out and it's awful because obviously blood on white ice, like it's very visually disgusting. It was all everywhere. It was pumping out all over. It's like, holy crap. He ended up being fine because he held it together. There was medical people. They got him to a hospital. So basically, the whole point is, yes, an ice hockey skate is that deadly.
Join us next week for John's review of When Buildings Fall Down.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do get the debut of the Icemen, as the Freeze's gang is called. I have to say I was a bit disappointed in that name, because he's already done The Iceman Cometh as well. So it's like, that's another the Icemen.
They should have been like the Gotham Yetis.
Yeah, anything. But yeah, I do like to think now that one of these, like, Napier hood with cutting tool has been adding to his skill set. And he's like, oh yeah, we learned the ice skate. I became a bodybuilder so I could join Two-Face's weird leather red and black balaclava
The Gotham
gang.
Glaciers.
Oh,
The Gotham Glaciers.
That's it. That's the one.
Although that makes them sound like they're going to be really slow. Like, they'll get you eventually.
No, I was going to say something with an avalanche, but it doesn't have the same ring to it. I like glaciers. I like it.
So, Gaz, this is wildly regarded as one of the worst movies ever made. Controversial statement, considering how we're doing it in this level of depth. But what do you personally think? What is the worst film that you yourself have ever seen?
Probably Highlander 2.
Oh,
okay.
And you might remember now, we watched that together.
Yeah.
And we were both...
distinct memories.
We were both baffled at how bad it was.
I'm one of those, though, who, yes, it's terrible. Yes, it's awful. Yes, it butchers the first one, but it's so silly. I love it.
Yeah, but no, right, okay. A film like this, Batman and Robin, or most films, they have a narrative you can follow.
Yes.
The narrative might be utter nonsense and just be stupid from start to finish, but you can see where they're going. You can see where the story is progressing. Highlander 2, you can't do that. You spend the whole movie baffled going, what is happening now? Why are they doing this?
Well, isn't that the whole scene where there's like Sean Connery just trying on suits?
Oh, yeah. The William Tell overture blaring over the top of it, too, yeah.
For no reason.
Yeah.
Well, I remember we were watching it and we were just like, this just looks stupid. The acting's bad. The editing's bad. The score's bad. Nothing of it makes sense. And then I remember just turning to you and being like, what's happening? I mean, like, what's the plot? And then we're like, I don't know. So I remember I got my laptop out and we looked it up on Wikipedia.
Oh.
And we read it and it still didn't make sense.
Always
it's
a good
still,
sign.
like, we couldn't like link what was written on Wikipedia on the plot to what we were seeing on screen. And it's like, I don't know a film like that where you actually can't watch it. You can't watch it and appreciate the story. Not that you can appreciate the story in much shit films, but there's a story there that you can at least follow. There's none of that in Highlander 2.
No.
Well, and also
It's truly, in every sense of the word, unwatchable.
But yeah, I think I'm noted out for this minute in particular.
Same.
Yeah, that's all I've got.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a lot, though, to be fair.
Oh, yeah. We will head off into the dark, dark night once more. Gaz, would you like to remind people one more time where they can find you online or plug anything that plug a charity, whatever you want to do?
Well, like I said a few minutes ago, a few episodes ago, my band Pumpkin Bomb, we will have recordings and stuff out soon when this airs. So, yep,
So go and get your sleeveless tops. Come and speak to us on Facebook, Batminute Listeners Cave, Twitter @Batminute, Instagram, all of that. And give us a review on, I was going to say iTunes, but isn't it Apple Podcasts now?
Yeah.
So give us a review on there. That's always very helpful. Or Podchaser. Podchaser is a very cool website where you can send us reviews as well. And it will be very helpful. It bumps us up in the rankings and whatnot. So we will see you again next week. We will have new minutes and a new guest.
I'm not going to do an Arnie voice because I won't be able to keep it up. Right, okay. Holy heinous hoses! A flurry of fiends flank Bruce and Dick and prepare to unleash HE double hockey sticks. Can our gallant gladiators get to grips with these glissading goons? Or will Gotham's glacial gallery prove to be a petrifying tomb? It's game on next week. Same Bat Pod, different Bat Minute.
We'll be back.